All right, I wanted to take a look at how to format the background paper in Google Docs. I realize most of you don't actually have Microsoft Word, and Google Docs is just a little bit different. It's a little bit weird, so I want to show you how to make the formatting work. So I have the exact same background paper that we looked at before, and one of the first things you'll want to do is go ahead and just highlight everything in the background paper. We want to make sure we have size 12, as we see here. Okay, so right here in the middle of the screen, we have our size. Right next to it, we want to set the Times New Roman font. You may have to scroll to the bottom, but there's not nearly as many fonts to scroll through as there are in Microsoft Word. So we'll select Times New Roman. You're also going to want to fix your spacing. First of all, we want to make sure there's no space before paragraph. So if it says add space, that means there's not any. But right now there is. That's why my screen says remove space. So I'm going to click that. Now there's no more space before paragraph. I also need to remove space after paragraph. And then finally, same spot, we're going to go to double spacing. All right, so double space, don't have any lines before, don't have any lines after. That's what we want. You should also have 1-inch margins already, but just in case you don't, going to File, down to Page Setup, make sure there's 1-inch margins all the way across the board. And that'll be something that'll help you out. We're also going to need to, at the very top of the screen, before it says background, we need to have our name. So Mr. Nadaski, and then this word background is supposed to be centered in the screen. Well, to get it centered there, we're just going to put our mouse right here at 3¼ inches and just click. And it'll give you the option to add a center tab stop. Then after your name and before the word background, hit your tab key. Now, if you're not sure, like, how did you do that? Well, it'll help if you view non-printing characters. This allows you to see spaces. Let me zoom in a little bit here. You can see spaces as these little bluish dots and tabs as these little bluish arrows. Just something a little that might help you out a little bit. All right, another thing you're going to want to do is hit an extra return or enter key after to give a little bit of extra space here. Now, click everything after your name and background, and you're going to want to set a indent for your first name. So we're going to Format, Align and Indent. We're going to go to Indentation Options. We want to do a special first line indent that is 0.5 inches and click Apply. This will indent, you notice, the start of all of your paragraphs for you, and that's something that'll be nice. All right, another thing we have to deal with are the page numbers. So if we double click in the bottom of the page, it'll bring up the footer. Go ahead and click Different First Page. Come here. I zoomed out a little too much. Let me zoom the screen. There we go. Right there. Just trying to set the zoom where I want it to be. All right, and we're going to align center right here. That moves the number to the middle, and we'll just type our 1. Or better yet, actually, let's not type the 1. Let's tell it to put the page number in starting at 1. So we'll hit Apply, and there's my 1. But you notice it's size 11, not size 12, and it's not Times New Roman. So we'll fix both of those things. Click down here to the header of the next page. Same thing. We're going to tell it to center. We're going to increase the size to 12. We're going to change to Times New Roman font, and then tell it to put in the page number. Now it says start at 1, but that's because the first page is 1. This is now page 2. Scroll to the bottom and make sure, nope, there's a page number here. Go to Options, tell it to remove the footer. Now it won't take your footer off the first page, but it will off the second page. And then come up here to the top. They got an extra number up here. So click up here and tell it to remove the header. Since you clicked Different First Page, it'll only remove the header from the first page. It'll only remove the footer from the second page. All right, so there's my background paper, nicely formatted. Everything's looking good, and that's what we want, except it should end period at the end of the paper. All right, hopefully that helps.